Unseen poetry, GCSE English, something that students struggle with. Watch until the end to have a better understanding and be well prepared for your unseen poetry. Now, before we get started, don't forget to press the subscribe button, like and share with your friends, as it does help our channel grow. And once again, thank you so much for your continuous support, as it does help our channel grow. Now, unseen poetry, I get this question a lot. So how do we prepare for unseen poetry? I'm really bad at it. What do I do? How do I approach the question? Now, fortunately, this video will tell you everything you need for the unseen poetry section of the exam, and also how to maximize your marks. So let's dive in and let's have a look at it in further detail. Now, your unseen poetry will be section C of the exam, and you will answer the following. So the first part of the section C will be your first question, and that will be worth 24 marks. So the first question will ask you to analyze a poem that you probably have never seen before. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to look at the keywords, the key phrases, highlight and annotate them, and you'll have a question on that, and you should spend around 35 minutes on that first question, and that's 24 marks. And then you'll have a second part to that, which will be essentially 8 marks, where the second question will ask you to compare the previous poem with another unseen poem. Okay, now for that second question, you'll get around 10 minutes, and in total, you'll get 45 minutes to answer both questions. So my advice to you, as we are literally only a few days away, start practicing these past paper questions and watch until the end, because I'll be providing you all with a cheat sheet that you all can use in your exam to attain the highest possible marks. So this is just in terms of timing. So please make sure you work on your time management. It's super, super important that you work and rectify this in preparation for your exams. Now, fortunately, I have a simple acronym that you can use for any unseen poetry question. And hopefully by looking at this cheat sheet, you all will smile, and you will be able to use this in your exams. So if you do use it, please remember this video and also comment on this video if you find this helpful, and if there's something that you have listened to, and if you smile, leave a comment in the section below. I just want to see what you all think. So let's have a look at it in further detail. So as you can see, SMILE is an acronym that we use for your poetry, your unseen poetry. So each letter stands for something. S stands for structure. So here it refers to the way the poem is presented to the reader. That's something that you need to comment on. M, the meaning. What is the literal meaning of the unseen poem? And one top tip I would give you is look at the title as well, because the title often gives you big clues, and it gives you an insight of what the poem will be about. I, imagery. What poetic devices are being used? Is the poet using similes? Is the poet using personification? Is the poet using metaphors? If so, why are they used, and what is the effect of using these poetic devices? So it's important that you talk about this in further detail, because you will achieve top marks for that. L, language. What type of language is used? Think about the tone, okay? Think about the language. Look at the words, the phrases, the word classes that are being used. So are they using many positive adjectives, negative adjectives, specific types of verbs, aggressive verbs, truculent verbs? And talk about the significance of that and what impression it creates and what effect does it really have, because ultimately that's how you'll get the top marks, by focusing on the effect. And it's something that you have been developing in your English language classes. So this part of the exam, you should be able to really maximize your marks in terms of AO2. Now, E stands for emotional effect. How does the poem make you feel as a person? How does it make you feel personally? That's something that you want to talk about in further detail in your exam. So when you go into the exam, you smile, and hopefully you remember your video or this video from Easy Education London, and you can smile whilst in the exam hall. So if you find this something interesting and easy to remember, do leave a comment in the comment section below. It's something easy, something that you can memorize and apply in any unseen poetry exam. And honestly, as cliche as it sounds, you need to practice. The more you practice, the better prepared you'll be for your exam. Okay, so there's no ifs, there's no buts. Practice, practice, practice. Now, is there enough time? Yes, there is. The truth is that there is enough time, and it really depends how you use your time. And to be honest, from now until the exam, I reckon you can at least go through 3 to 4 past paper questions on unseen poetry to build your confidence using Smile. So essentially, this is a simple checklist and cheat sheet that you can use for any unseen poetry exam question. Moving on. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe, like and share as it helps our channel grow. If you're interested in joining our amazing online classes, do contact us via our email, which is easyeducationlondon@gmail.com. You may be wondering, why should I join the Easy Education London's online classes? The reason is we've got expert and experienced teachers helping and guiding students to achieve the highest possible grades. Now we provide model answers, predicted papers, predicted questions, cheat sheets, PowerPoints, flashcards, constructive feedback, etc. So if you really want to achieve the top grades and results, do consider joining, as our spaces are extremely limited. Now, moving back to the question 1. Your first task is an essay on one unseen modern poem. So they will provide you with a poem that you've never seen before, most likely, and you'll be asked to answer the question based on that. Now, your interpretation of the poem is more important than knowing the correct answer, and marks are awarded for understanding the poet's ideas and how they use language, form, and structure to reinforce these ideas. Very important. You annotate for language, form, and structure. Okay, so you all have been doing this throughout the year and even back in year 10. But it's something that you need to identify and underline. And remember, you need to know the mark scheme if you want to achieve the highest mark. Look at the mark scheme and see how you can write an amazing answer tailored to the mark scheme. So in order for you to do that, you need to know the assessment objectives. AO1, read, understand, and respond to text, which is worth 12 marks. And AO2 is to analyze language, structure, and form. These are the 2 sections, 2 parts of the mark scheme that you all need to adhere to in order for you to score the top marks. So if you need to, take a screenshot because this is super important. Now, the question may be, how do I structure my response for question 1? So a simple acronym is to use something called CEATTT, okay, which stands for, as you can see from the right, comment, evidence, this suggests, technique, and this suggests. Okay, so essentially this is what you are aiming to do. You're aiming to write 2 CETTT paragraphs on language, 2 CETTT paragraphs on structure, and then comment on the tone, the mood, the theme, and then after that you comment on the writer's intentions and effect on the reader. Now, in terms of how to structure it, this is how you can do it personally. So you can start off by looking at the paragraph on the technique. So paragraph number 1, you look at the analysis of the technique, and within that paragraph, you tell us how the speaker feels at the start, because remember that would fall under structure. So as you can see, I'm just going across 1 and 1 from your screen. Number 2, paragraph 2, analysis of another technique, and similarly at the same time, you're talking about how the speaker feels in the middle. And then paragraph number 3, you're looking at the analysis of a technique and how the speaker feels at the end, okay? So essentially you're looking at around 3, 4, maybe even 5 paragraphs within that range in terms of your question. Remember, there's no specific number, but this is just for guidance for you to follow in preparation for your exam. So this is something that you can use in preparation for your revision and use this to help you revise. And as you can see, the second question will ask you to make links between a poem that you have written about already with the second modern poem. It is a comparison. And you'll compare both the similarities and differences. And you want to take 2 to 3 minutes to look at the second poem and smile it. Following this, you can then begin answering the question. So for AO2, you're looking at the comparison of the method only. So remember, language, structure, and form, and the impact on the reader. So these are the specific things that you need to do when comparing for the 8 marks if you want to achieve the top marks. Now the question arises, how do I structure my response for question 2? So you need to have an introduction paragraph, and you show how the poems relate to each other, or make a comment on what each poem is about, the similarities or the differences between the story and the themes. So you're looking at one CETTL paragraphs on language and one CETTL paragraph on structure. Remember, the L stands for link. So you link the both poems. And then after that, you need a conclusion paragraph where you draw your answer to a conclusion using a suitable connective, such as finally. You could sum up what you think is the most important similarity or difference, and you can say what poem is more effective and why. And remember, you must make links between both poems and discuss the impacts on the reader. Super, super important. So don't forget about that, as many people do forget to do that in their exam. Now, as you can see from my screen, you have an unseen poetry practice question that you may want to practice. And essentially that's something that, and that is it for today's video. I hope this has given you all a better understanding and it has built your confidence in preparation for your unseen poetry. If you did find this video helpful, informative, do give it a like. If you stayed until the end, please comment, I found this video helpful, just to see how many of you stayed until the end. And like I said, use this cheat sheet because it will help you achieve the highest possible grades for your unseen poetry. And that is it for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share for plenty more exciting videos. Do follow us on all social media platforms at Easy Education London on TikTok, Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget to share on YouTube as well. So thank you for watching and I shall see you very soon. Thank you.